I'm telling you, children of God, no matter, you may want to take this lightly, but I can assure you, you will never get victory. You can speak against, you can do whatever you want to do, but unless you follow this protocol that I'm giving you now, you can't be liberated. You can be strong for 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and the dream comes back again. And you wake up discouraged, disappointed, drained, weakened. Why? Because your momentum of wanting to go into the future has been vandalized by demonic spirits. Yes. You've been discouraged.
Yes.
You can't go forward because you have a force that is inviting you to a lesser experience.
Yes.
You may try to hold on and you say, I will keep on trying, I'll keep on trying. But sooner or later, your spirit is going to capitulate. It will cease to resist that force. My friend who could not swim jumped into the river, and I watched him drown. At that age, I'd never watched a man die before. We had no television. That was my first experience. And there was an emotion right at the bank of that river, which was activated. I feared, I was terrified by that event. This is not in a dream. I'm talking about what is happening physically before we get into the matrix. Hear me, follow me on this one.
Yes, sir.
This is in a physical manifestation of things before we get into the supernatural. Yes. I'm trying to show you what is responsible for the creation of some of the dreams.
Yes, Father, thank you. Thank you.
Now I am screaming. My friend is gone. We had to go home, tell our parents that this is what has happened, and the police was involved, and they had to come and retrieve him from the water. Now that event is something that you will never forget.
Yes, Father. Yes, Father.
No matter how old you get.
Yes.
Now be very careful now. Each time you go to bed, you might begin to have dreams that associate you with water, danger, death. And the reason why you keep receiving that, it is because of... Now, let me show you something that is happening. At that place when that incident happened, that emotion called fear in you was triggered. And when an emotion is triggered or activated by the impetus or an occurrence that stimulates, that arouses an emotion. You are watching something happening, and that something calls for the attention of one of your emotion, fear. Now, what then happens is that that emotion discharges a radiation into that immediate environment. Your fear reacts, it contaminates that environment. Something comes out of your soul that spoils your surrounding, the matrix. Now, because you have done something not just to yourself, but to your environment. There is what is called the terrestrial radiation. Terrestrial radiation. Things that are terrestrial, it means that which belongs to the physical.
Yes, Father.
Okay?
Yes, Father.
Okay. And the radiation, it is how some of those things have the ability to emit some radio frequency signals. From the creation, God created certain things that have an ability to occupy space larger than themselves. Yeah. Okay. Hear this. You must understand what is happening to your soul. This fear that gets influenced by the soul that is localized in a physical body. The extent of your soul. There are things bigger than themselves, things that can occupy bigger spaces than themselves. Physical things. You can have snakes bothering you in your plot, your piece of land. You can hire professionals that can bring to your house snake repellents. We know the mosquito repellent.
Yes, sir.
Some, they come in form of a tablet. They can come and place a tablet somewhere within the area. Now, you now have an object that occupies a space which is 2-3 centimeters or 5 centimeters. And yet from that 5 centimeter range, you have 1 hectare covered. And snakes are being dispersed by something that they cannot see. Because that simple object that occupies that small place is bigger than itself in terms of impact and influence. So your soul doesn't end where it is. You must understand your range.
Hey.
Okay. So we measure the repellent, the space where it occupies, very small. But the entire place is protected by a little thing that is occupying a place that you might not even see it. So the thing now is bigger than its size. Don't be deceived by size. So you, as a spirit, you must understand how broad you are. Your extends beyond your physical appearance. Now, this is happening live and you're watching your friend dying, and then there is an activation of an emotion, and then that emotion emits a radiation. I'm talking about terrestrial radiations. So now you have an atmosphere. You have grown to become 50 years, 60 years, and you still can dream of your friend drowning. You must then understand what keeps taking you back to that river. Because your emotion gave birth to a child into that atmosphere 7 years ago. There was a seed into that atmosphere that your soul from 60 years will have to keep on visiting. No. Okay. So you keep seeing something that happened 50 years ago and you're wondering, how come I cannot get over this thing? There is a reason. Because the soul that you now have today extends to that far. Because that event that took place became a fixture, an established infrastructure that keeps on emitting signals from the past. And whilst you are in the present, you keep on being beckoned by that event. You are being drawn to that event because there was an investment that you did into that atmosphere.
Hey.
Your soul, the anger, the emotion, deposited something into that environment at the river. Oh, so some of you, maybe the first job that you got, that's the job that you keep on dreaming about. And you're thinking, was I not supposed to leave that job? And yet, whilst you were working there, maybe you got your first salary. An emotion called happiness was triggered. And that emotion emitted a radiation into that environment back then. That radiation that came out of your soul is your soul's baby. You gave birth, and the prevailing environment, your surrounding became the midwife that received your child, that your soul will have to keep on visiting. An attachment has been created that keeps drawing you back to that first salary that activated an emotion called happiness. Before you think of freeing yourself from that past event, this is what you do. I know you know these things, but just for interest's sake, I like giving illustrations that are practical that you can
Thank you, Father.
relate with.
Thank you, Father.
You must understand your sphere of influence.
All right.
Now, because as a soul, you have a jurisdiction. You must be cognizant of your boundaries as an extraterrestrial entity, as a soul. Working on yourself and improving yourself is very critical. For instance, what they call the magnetic field, it is the sphere of influence. When you get your magnet, like you know that in a compass there is a magnet that points every time to the north. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So what draws that magnet to the north is a bigger magnet that draws a smaller magnet towards that particular direction.
Yes.
So it is always the younger guy that gets affected
Yes.
in that struggle. Never have a bigger deposit of your soul in the past. And a smaller deposit in the future. Your future will be going backwards from town to the village. From a car, you'll be walking on foot again. It's a magnetic field that is happening. Now I want you to listen to this. So when you take that magnet, for instance, let's do away with the Earth magnetic field. We're talking about the little magnet that we have. Now, if I'm to put things right now on the table, and I have some plastic objects over here, and 10 centimeters away, I put some toothpicks. 10 centimeters or 20 centimeters away, I have some business cards. And 30 centimeters away, I have some needles or nails, something metal. And then I bring the magnet and I let it pass over these different materials. There is no response whatsoever when the magnet is passing over the toothpicks.
Yes, Father.
Yes.
That's correct.
Because there is no relationship within the toothpick. There is nothing within that toothpick that responds, that is moved by the influence of the force that is passing by it. It is immune to the influence of the magnet. But by the time you get to the needles, you see them jumping and they'll stick to the magnet. So all along throughout this journey, you would think that this magnet is not working until it finds something that it is compatible with. Right?
Yes, sir.
And then there was a field all along of that magnet, but these guys are not affected by that field. By the time you get to something that is metal, maybe it's a button or maybe it's a piece of wire, it gets into the field. There is a field of that magnet, beyond which at some point, if you put it there, it will not even jump. You have to keep on drawing it closer and closer and closer, and that intensity keeps on multiplying.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is the thing. You as an individual, you must understand that if okay, let me touch this part so that we can be on the same page. You see, imagine what happens when you get the magnet closer to the metal object. Because you are holding onto the magnet, you see the metal object jumping. And then it attaches itself to what?
The
To the magnet. What pulls it up is the field. The magnet has its space, its place of influence around that territory. It owns it.
Yes.
Okay? In the case where the metal on the surface is bigger than the magnet that you're holding, you have to be very careful. You might have your magnet snatched by the metal, and then the magnet can become a victim of its own field,
Of his own influence.
its own influence.
Yay!
So if you have a bigger dream and you have deposited a bigger emotion in the past, and then maybe you backslide, maybe you are no longer worshiping God, you're no longer praying, you have become weaker. Now you have a metal that is so strong in the past, and you are the magnet in the present. Instead of drawing whatever you have left in the past to come into the present, you can be drawn back to an older lifestyle where you have somebody who is in this current period of time still criticizing success and prosperity. You have a seemingly dignified man undermining the value of money. Okay? That's the problem when the magnet is smaller than the metal on the ground. It is the magnet that jumps towards that metal.
Instead of pulling.
So now the issue of saying, how do I disconnect myself? You have to develop yourself. So that at one point on your other side, you are powerful enough to pull whatever and recover whatever you have deposited in the past and bring it into your present as your harvest. And on the other hand, you have to be humble enough to your future experiences where you have made a bigger deposit so that you can be pulled
Towards.
as a smaller magnet towards a vision that is greater than you.
Yeah.
So no matter what you go through, the persecutions, you are under the influence of that deposit that you have made in the future. It's bigger than you. It controls you. It motivates you. It wakes you in the middle of the night and you are opening books trying to find the truth. Because there is something calling you in the future, bigger than you. So now the issue here is that some of you are rotating in that very old event. When you find your soul orbiting around that state of confusion. You know, that cycle, they call them cycles, where something keeps on happening repetitiously and you don't know how to stop it. You know, I don't like this, but the thing keeps on coming back. You have deposited an emotion. That event that took place with that strange woman, it wasn't just something that came out of your body that entered into her womb. That day, there was an emotional discharge into that atmosphere. When you opened that book for the first time and you were watching women that were naked, something was triggered and there was a deposit in that environment. Now that connection is still there. So your soul that you have in the present keeps on being dragged back so that it can orbit around that event. The orbiting of your soul, it's a secular trajectory of an object around an influencing event, where you have something being kept in one place and you keep on rotating because at the center of you there is a major occurrence, and you can't be free from that unless you retrieve that emotion that you deposited, that is drawing your spirit and your soul always back to that place. I'm telling you, children of God, no matter, you may want to take this lightly, but I can assure you, you will never get victory. You can speak against, you can do whatever you want to do, but unless you follow this protocol that I'm giving you now, you can't be liberated. You can be strong for 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and the dream comes back again. And you wake up discouraged, disappointed, drained, weakened. Why? Because your momentum of wanting to go into the future has been vandalized by demonic spirits. You've been discouraged. You can't go forward because you have a force that is inviting you to a lesser experience. You may try to hold on and you say, I will keep on trying, but sooner or later, your spirit is going to capitulate. It will cease to resist that force. And then you are drawn back. A man who had a bigger name, now he's back to the village. When you allow your previous experiences to summon you, you can be invited back to the past. This is why being born again is a very serious matter. Who do you want to become? God has shown you already the solution. I'll come back and sit here and prove to you that your $1 million is already present on the earth. What you don't understand now is the path that leads you there. I can give it to you in point form. And I would want you, the most educated people, to prove me wrong. After that, tell me it doesn't work. Then I'll prove to you the power of God, how God has made available solutions. All that is left now is to have an interpreter of mysteries. Mysteries. Right now, you can feel it that something has just landed on you.
Yes, Father. Yes, Father. Yes,
I
Father.
didn't know.
Yes, Father.
I'm migrating to and fro, up and down. I'm being pulled by different emotions. Where have you invested the majority of your emotions? Have it in the future. Place it in a better life, better destiny, and have that emotion pull you from where you are. Dream something bigger than you and let that something bigger pull you. But become stronger and very rigid to anything inferior so that you can pull it from wherever, from primary school, drag it to where you are. And you say, I cannot come back there just because of that little experience. I'm now mature. I have to retrieve my investment that I did in the past. Bring it into now. I need to invest it into the future. So please be very careful when you are sad, when you are fighting, when you are quarreling, when you raise your hand and you beat up your wife. Something has been deposited into that environment. Before your children come walking into that house, you have to pray. Disperse that emotion. I'm telling you the things that I can prove. There are places, properties, houses that you have bought and you've just entered there. And yet the emotions of the people, the lifestyle, the relationship, the previous marriage, the union, the fellowship that was in that house still remains until you dismiss it by your own present emotion that overpowers every other emotion around itself. You have to become the bigger thing in that area that pushes away everything. That's why Jesus said to his disciples, when you get into any place, say peace. Any place. Don't trust what you find there. Say peace, and there shall be peace in the place. You have to speak it out. Release your energy, your emotion into that environment. If you don't do that, in as much as you might have a message, you might carry the miracles, you may not stay there for 2 days. Because there is already strategies of the enemy to destroy you in that environment. There are diseases waiting just to permeate your physical body. So declare into that atmosphere, make a deposit, an emotion called peace into that environment, and then you can stay. If the place is not qualified, you can have your peace back. That's what he said. Because it is yours. You have it. So environments are waiting for us to minister to them. If you want to be a happy person, you can make a decision today. I don't want to walk into the streets and then I get contaminated by other people. You leave your house happy, coming back from work, you are angry with everything, with everyone, even with the dogs, you are beating them up. What is happening? You have interacted with very strange souls, and you've received an impartation of a wrong emotion. The best way you can survive other people's emotions is when you can develop yourself, become the bigger soul, the bigger emotion in the area. If you are happy, everyone around you gets happy. I'll take you to the land where you can realize financial success. So next time I come and I sit here, I'll begin to show you now how you can work your way towards any dream that you have had. Forget about the past. Let's move on into the future. The devil will never get you back again.